Black Art Perspective. Well, hello and good morning. Welcome to the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I am your host, Felicia Lockhart, and today we are looking at the passing of Quincy Jones. But first, I want to make sure that everybody knows who he is. He is, of course, listen, first off, just real casually, I want to tell you that I started off reading his obituary today, and it was a long one. Oh my gosh. I mean, this thing was going on and on and on about a lot of different, artists that he had worked with. Let me pull my mic a little closer. About a lot of artists that he worked with. I mean, it spanned everything from, Ray Charles, who was apparently his mentor, all the way to Frank Sinatra. All of them. Talked about all of them. And I could not help myself for thinking about these folks. Let me show you these folks, because these are the people that I think of when I think of Quincy Jones. Okay, listen, you guys already know I'm not going to beat a dead horse, pardon the pun, but I worked in the music industry for a long time. And, a lot of us didn't get picked up because there was a lot of us who were presented to people and decided we weren't going to do certain things in order to become famous. So, hey, I'm going to leave that right there. Here's what I'm going to show you. This is who I think of when I think of him. This guy right here. It's a gentleman by the name of Tevin Campbell. Tevin Campbell was one of his entertainers that he discovered when he was a young child. And this kid could really sing. So let's just take a look at this guy. And we're going to take a look at a couple of other folks that I'm led to think about when I think of, the work of one or said Quincy Jones. That's Tevin Campbell today. He made a song called Can We Talk for a Minute? Oh man, it was a staple back in the day. And you can still put it on right now and everybody will start to sing it. Yeah. So this is Tevin Campbell's story. But again, we're correlating him because, well, he worked with Quincy for a good while. After a career in the public eye with huge chart hits, lauded Broadway performances, and much beloved song of a 90s Disney classic, that's what they say, R&B star Tevin Campbell is ready to let fans in on a part of his personal life in a new interview on the People Everyday podcast. Campbell confirmed that he identifies as a gay man and took a look back on what led him to officially open up to his fans. What makes me the happiest right now is how far I've come in life, is what he says. There are a lot of child stars that don't make it, Tevin Campbell says. But a lot of us do. And the fact that I've embraced me. Oh, look, they're showing this fellow's passing on the very same story that we're talking about with Tevin Campbell. I hope you guys really hear where I'm going, because I know there's a lot of folks running around all sad. Oh my gosh, you're going to hear it from here to the cows come home. All of the great songs that he did, everything wonderful that he did. But the problem with the music industry right now today, part of Hollywood, is that there's a lot of evil, wicked stuff that Hollywood has done. But the problem is that nobody seems to understand or know that that's exactly what this whole system is. It's an entire system. And in as much as I'm sorry to hear about a person passing away at 91 with the most recent arrest of one, the diddler, I'm wondering, is this a convenient situation or is he really gone? Because the last One of these obituaries that I read, which is supposed to be something like, Bob the Builder was born on this day. Bob the Builder died on this day of undisclosed causes. He was surrounded by his family and friends. The end. This was a 9-minute read. So I was supposed to take 9 minutes out of my day to go all the way back with him, which I think he wrote it, because if he didn't write it, my goodness, the person who wrote it needs a raise. This obituary was ridiculously long. But see, this right here, Tevin Campbell, Michael Jackson. Yeah. Let's see. Who else had a really rough time? Donna Summer. Yeah. All of these folks. These are the folks. These are the people. This is the story. I don't really know when I hear about very extravagant rich people pass away. I don't know. Sometimes when I hear about the extravagantly rich passing away, I'm wondering, was that out of convenience? Yeah, because see, I don't live with you. I don't know you. I don't even live down the street from you. The people that I know that know you, obviously, they keep quiet. I know, but I'm not going to play the game. I'm just not going to do it. But anyway, this is Tevin Campbell's story. Fans have long speculated about Campbell's sexuality, but the singer has kept his private life out of the public eye since the inception of his career. But that speculation came to a head earlier this year when Campbell tweeted and later deleted the phrase says, Tevin is and ... followed by a rainbow flag emoji. The singer signed his first major label deal back with Warner Music in 1991. Releasing his debut, Tevin, to critical acclaims, that album. Campbell was just 14 years old in March of 1991 when he landed his first top 20 hit on the Billboard 100 chart, Round and Round, which Prince wrote and produced for the film Graffiti Bridge. Campbell's performance on the track brought him a Grammy nomination for the R&B vocal performance. Isn't that nice? His songs such as Can We Talk and Tell Me What You Want Me to Do would go on to break the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, and many fans also know Campbell as the voice of Powerline from 1995's A Goofy Movie. Campbell, who referred to himself as a former child star, revealed that through his early years in the industry, he never really concealed his identity from those around him. I didn't hide anything about me. I didn't try to act a certain way or anything, Tevin Campbell says. You just couldn't be gay back then. Isn't that amazing? It wasn't until 2005 when he appeared with Seaweed J. Stubbs in the Broadway musical Hairspray that Campbell said that he felt he'd truly found himself. Being around people who were like me in the LGBTQ, elemental P, QRSTUVW, people that were living normal lives and had partners. I had never seen that, he says. That was a great time in my life. Well, I can imagine it was a liberating feeling to not be, feeling as if you had to hide. But he wasn't hiding. Does he know that? Because we all knew it. Anyway, the singer also praised stars such as Lil Nas X and Frank Ocean, who found success in R&B and hip hop while also being openly queer. Now, wasn't one of those guys working with the little fella? What's the little guy's name? He used to run Arista. It's a little Jewish man with glasses. Don't remember his name. But I do know that one of those, I think it was Ocean, worked with him, didn't he? Did he? I don't remember. Did he? Huh. Here's another person that he worked with. Here's another person. Let me show you this guy, because I'm sure you'll know this guy. Because he actually did the television show for this cat. Right there. Will Smith. Will Smith. There you are. Will Smith worked with Quincy Jones. I know they wanted me to just talk about, Ray Charles and Frank Sinatra and, all of those people. But I just felt compelled to talk to you about these people. I don't know why. Yeah, Will Smith, the whole Fresh Prince of Bel-Air thing, even the theme, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all kinds of stuff. I don't need to read any of this, do I? I don't need to read it. Should I? You think so? Yeah. You know, this is the bittersweet piece to being a lover of music and appreciation of talent. The bittersweet piece is that, and I'm not going to get all deep, and start telling people what to think or believe or who to believe. I'm not going there. But what I will say is that music is one of those things that is bittersweet because it's a unifier. It's also a divider. And then when you do start to look at what's under the hood, you do realize that it's also something not so cool. So what I just got through listening to, when I thought, somebody sent me the message that he had passed away, I thought of the song that he did with his goddaughter, Ayo Karita. Is that how you say it? Yeah, that song. I thought of that because that to me was one of the best songs. Listen, let's just say this. I know Corita. That's it. The worst part about this whole thing is this man was very talented and he shaped the majority of all of our musical love. If we loved R&B, from the 70s on, he had something to do with the artist that was performing the music. And that's the reason why I showed you Tevin Campbell. And that's the reason why I showed you just now Will Smith, because he had a lot to do with the shaping of these individuals. But here's the sad part about the music industry at the same time is that in as much as we love those songs that helped to shape our youth and shape our lives as we were coming up, there were some really foul and nefarious things that was going on in the background that changed and augmented people's lives forever. And so I am very saddened by his death because I don't like to see any human being pass away at all. But I'm wondering, because of how close all the ties are up there in Hollywood, and I know he was ill for a minute, I'm wondering, hey, did he just pass away? Did he die, honestly yesterday, because that's what they're saying, November 3rd? Or did he, have any reason to just sort of hide out for a while until stuff cooled down? I don't know. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it ain't true. I'm just saying, did he pass on? I don't know. Did he? I don't know. But it's sad nonetheless. Uh, let's get into some of the music because this here, as you can see, Will Smith, he's responsible for Will Smith's entire career. His entire career. If it were not for the introduction to the music industry on the level that it was from Quincy Jones, giving the thumb, the carte blanche and all that stuff, we probably would not even know about him. We wouldn't have known about him. Not at all. I don't think we would have. That's a beautiful picture of he and his wife. Yeah. I don't even want to read this story, which I'm not going to because it's real foul. It's talking about some allegations of people saying that Will Smith is, likes the same thing she likes. And I don't want to read that. But that's a beautiful outfit she's got on. So let's just get into a couple of more stories. Now, I do want to talk about some of the things that he did that you guys may remember. Do you remember The Wiz? It's about 1978. The Wiz. So you wanted to see the wizard. They considered that a flop. And I was mortified when I read that this morning that somebody actually considered the Wiz, a flop. Again, thinking about Quincy Jones. This guy, listen, let's just be fair. Quincy Jones has left an indelible mark, all right, on the music industry. He really honestly has. There's no doubt about it. Quincy Jones has left an amazing indelible mark. Um, on the music industry. So yeah, I really wish I could get into it. I got a video if you guys want me to just send it to you personally. Because I really went in on what I think. And I know that it's because of the fact that having worked in this industry for as many years as I did coming up as a young girl, that, my mother kept me protected and shielded from a lot of stuff. So much so that when I became an adult in the industry, I already walked into the room with people giving me the side eye because my mama wasn't taking none of that stuff when I was little. So she had already taught me, how to zig and zag. And so when it came down to me coming in and do background music, I would go in and I would do that. I would lay the tracks, do what I had to do, and I would bounce. If I was on, if I was in a theater play, they already knew that I wasn't going to hang out afterwards because it was about, so it made it really difficult, is my point, that when I did decide to go into music and do all this stuff that I needed to do full time, it blocked me out because my mama was a cold son of a gun. She wasn't joking. And even after she passed, people still knew who I was because they knew who she was. So there's a lot of stories that you get to hear. There's a lot of things that's that's cooking. Hey William, hey Ricky, hey Pam, Mr. Leslie, Jeremo W, Solemn Peace, Rage. What's going on? To all of you, and those of you who are not in the chat, but that are here just hanging out as we chill. Let me get into this story because it's a long story. I really don't want to go into all of it, but I'm going to touch base on a few of the things as it relates to Quincy Jones before I get out of here and y'all get out of here. Let's see here. I want you to see, this is a long one. I mean, I think he must have been able to write his own and then leave it for others to read because this one's long, but I don't think I'm going to do that one. That's 9 minutes. I ain't got 9 minutes. I got to go. Y'all got to go. 9 minutes on a cat I didn't know, like that. All right. Let's do this one. I love the way that they start the stories. The music titan, the one, the only. Okay. Here's the one, the only, the music titan. Get out of here. It's because I'm looking for a car. You guys know I had the car crash, and I'm looking for a car. So anyway, Quincy Jones, music titan who worked with everyone from Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson, dies at the age of 91. The multi-talented musical titan, whose vast legacy ranged from producing Michael Jackson's historic, Thriller album, to writing prize-winning film and television scores and collaborating with Frank Sinatra, Ray Charles, and hundreds of others recording artists, died at 91 years old. His publicist, Arnold Robinson, says that he died Sunday night at his home in Bel Air of the Bel Air section of Los Angeles, surrounded by his family and friends. Jones was to have received an honorary Academy Award later this month, but I guess, he was too ill. Look at all of those Grammys. Look at all of those Grammys. Michael Jackson holds up 8 awards as he poses with Quincy Jones at the Grammy Awards in Los Angeles. This was back in 1984. Isn't 84 around the time that the Coca-Cola, the Pepsi thing happened? That's a lot of awards. Wow. Quote, tonight, with full but broken hearts, we must share the news of our father and brother, Quincy Jones, passing, the family said in a statement. It continues with, and although this is an incredible loss for our family, we celebrate the great life that he lived and know There will never be another like him. Hands down, I gotta agree with that. I'm not gonna take the man's talent away from him because I have my own personal feelings. I'm not. The man was off the chain. I mean, from playing the horn all the way, I think it was the trumpet. Didn't he blow the trumpet? Mr. Leslie, somebody, I think he blew the trumpet. But I know that he was an exceptional horn player until he suffered, I believe it was an aneurysm or something. Something happened. And then he played then he just went on to continue to produce some of the best music. The man had an unbelievable ear and an impeccable talent. This is Jones rose from running with gangs in the south side of Chicago to the very heights of show business, becoming one of the first Black executives to thrive in Hollywood. Get that. He was one of the first Black executives to thrive in Hollywood. Now, I want you to understand something. You got to be a certain type of dude to thrive in Hollywood, period. But to thrive in Hollywood and be a Black man, you got to be a certain type of cat. It says that, and he amassed an extraordinary music catalog that includes some of the richest moments of American rhythm and song. For years, it was unlikely to find a music lover who did not own at least one record with his name on it, or a leader in the entertainment industry and beyond who did not have some connection to him. Jones kept company with presidents and foreign leaders. Listen, movie stars and musicians, they're telling you something, philanthropists and business leaders. He toured with Count Basie, Lionel Hampton. Good dudes, right? I mean, as far as music is concerned, Count Basie, Lionel Hampton, now you're in my wheelhouse. Singers like Sinatra, doing arrangements for Sinatra. Ella Fitzgerald, again, in my wheelhouse. Composed soundtracks for Roots. You remember the fake story, Roots. The one that the guy came out and said that his family was from Africa and he had this big old story and had the majority of all Black people angry at white people. You guys remember that? Alex Haley's alleged life story. It wasn't even real. Let me get back on the topic. But wasn't that a mess? But anyway, that was an epic soundtrack. The soundtrack was Quincy Jones. He also did In the Heat of the Night. He organized President Bill Clinton's first inaugural celebration and oversaw the all-star recording, We Are the World. That's that 1985 charity that was done for the famine relief for Africa. I wonder whatever happened to the famine relief. Lionel Richie, who co-wrote We Are the World and was among the featured singers, will call Jones the master orchestrator. In so many ways he was. This was one of the shortest that I was able to find, which is why I picked this one to go ahead and read. Much shorter, but there are several other stories as you guys can take your choice of them. I just like stuff to stay real. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just like to keep it down there, as my friend girl's dad used to say, keep it down there where the cows can get it. I'm not going to sit here and lie about anything. I'm not going to, do totally just go off like the video that I haven't published that I probably won't. But with that said, let me know your thoughts. Is it time for everybody in the music industry to just unveil everything and just lift it all up? Those of us who see and know, is it time for us to really just make it real? Is it time? This is my perspective. Is it time? Is it time for us to say that the music industry and all of the other arts industries, much to my chagrin, are really responsible for a lot of stuff? There was a chick who could sing her behind off, and I mean, this broad was bad. Her name was Amy Winehouse. Whew, boy, that chick had some pipes on her. And I remember when it was time for them to bring in another artist that was similar to her, but not necessarily exactly like her, she, left. Not in a good way. But there are a lot of deep, dark secrets that go on in the music industry. And if you go back and you listen to some of the music that we hear and listen to some of the lyrics, actually, just hang out a little bit. Hang out a little bit with Hall & Oates. Hang out with some of their songs. Hang out a little bit when you go to listen to some of Sting's solo songs. Listen to those. I mean, really listen to some of the words. If you listen to some of the words, you'll hear, I can't go for that. Just break down the words to I can't go for that from Hall and Oates. Huh? Just do that. This again is my perspective. Because I'm not about to sit here and just laud anybody a hero or anything, especially when I know too much. I'm not about to do that. But again, sorry to hear about the passing of a human being. Let's do the lyrics, shall we? Let's go. Let's do that. Let's do the lyrics. All right. Here are the lyrics. Easy, ready, willing, overtime. Overtime. Easy, ready, willing. Overtime. Where does it stop? Where do you dare me to draw the line? You got the body. Now you want my soul. Don't even think about it. Say no go. Yeah, I'll do anything that you want me to. Yeah, I'll do almost anything that you want me to. Ooh, yeah. But I can't go for that. No. No can do. I can't go for that. No. No can do. I can't go for that. It's like a person saying, no, 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 no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And then the next verse goes, I can go for being twice as nice. I can go for just repeating the same old lines. Use the body. Now you want my soul. Ooh, forget about it. Now say no go. And then you hit it again with the hook. So what the hook gonna be? Yeah. Then the hook come in. Yeah. A lot of things went on in the music industry and is still going on. And really honestly, what I feel like is about to happen as it relates to the big shift. I believe that a lot of the R&B artists that are no longer are going to be moved to the side. I believe that a lot of the other people, because what they did is they brought in, and this is going to music as a whole, because this man is a staple. All right. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. But what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a lot more AI driven music. You're going to end up with a lot of AI driven music. It's easy to emulate my voice. All right. It's easy to emulate your voice. It's easy to create a voice out of several voices that'll just resonate with people. And then you can put that over music that AI can now currently do. They're going to move away from using people because people are too much trouble. Now, they're going to continue to do whatever it is that they're doing because over the past couple of years, at least the last 4 years, they've been able to harvest as many humans as they need to do whatever that it was that they needed to do. And I said that really fast on purpose. So they don't really need all the music industry people because they've been able to snatch as much as they could. Yeah, I know. It's my perspective. It's my perspective. So it's going to be a totally AI driven music industry. And you're not going to care if you're bopping down the street driving in your electric car 200 miles until it's time to charge that puppy again on your travel across the nation, your trip, your family trip. You're not going to care. All you're going to do is pop the music in, hit the little button, and listen. You're either going to listen to the iTunes or however you're going to do it, but you're going to listen. You're going to hear it. And it won't matter to you. It won't matter to you. Hello, buddy. Good morning. We're not going back outside yet, buddy. Yeah, it's not going to matter to you because it's something that you like, and that's the deal. So that's where we're headed. We're headed to not even having to pay any more artists. They, of course, started with R&B first. It's the easiest to get rid of because we can be emulated by other groups and are. Everything from K-pop to those wonderful, there's a lot of other artists that can sound and sing just like, that Christina Aguilera, my God. Talk about a beast. That chick had a voice on her. So we're not necessarily needed. So that's the reason why they're starting with that group of folks. That's the reason why they're starting with that group of folks. Yep, that's it. And they're going to go ahead and finish. They're going to go ahead on and finish. Yep. 300 miles, 250 miles on your little trip that you're going to take until you get to a desolate area where it said there was a charging station. And then you get there and find out that you can't go home now, Dorothy, because you can't get home because there is no charging station in that area. That's going to be amazing, right? Where they're going to put up all of these maps. I know I'm going a little bit off the beaten path, but follow me here for a moment. For those of you who were lucky enough to have the rare occasion of one said Felicia Lockhart on the Lockhart Perspective on a Monday morning. Follow me, if you will. That they had to set up the entire United States with a map that showed all of the electrical charging stations, and you listening to your loved one and the government force you to do it. And after they, well, first they coerced you by getting a little, benefit, and then they forced you by taking the benefit away. All right. And you had to get one. Now you are on this road trip and you're looking at your little map that you got on your little computer screen, and it's showing you all the available portable stations. You're telling people in the family, quit tripping. My car's going to make it. You get all the way out to, I don't know, Yuma. You get to Arizona somewhere. You get miles away from home. All right. You done charged it a few times and with great success. But then you get to one point out there in Arizona, miles away from the South. And there are no ports, no charging stations like promised on that little thing. Well, they're supposed to be, but they just didn't get there yet. Still waiting on more funding. So you're stuck out there in that place and you can't get home. That's what's going to be happening. And I did say be. That's what's going to be. That is what it's going to be. People are going to be sitting up waiting. Yeah. That's where the world is headed. So you'll pop their music in. You'll listen. You'll sit there. And there won't be a need for any more people to be entertainers. Because you don't know what you're looking at on TV right now anyway. Will Smith is dang near as old as me. And does he look my age? No. Does he look his age? No. Have they shown people who look exactly like him hanging out in Mexico with another little cat that looks exactly like the little short fat one that hangs out with him, that Martin guy? Yes. They have. They've shown that. So we don't know what we're looking at. We don't know what we're listening to. None of us do. You feel me? Hey, Pam. Thank you, baby. But this is the industry. And I venture to say that there's going to be a whole lot more people passing on, unfortunately. What they say, they pass away in threes. I'm thinking put a zero behind that, because there's going to be a whole lot of people trying to get out of Dodge. See, here's another thing. Remember when everybody was talking about all the CEOs that was sort of just quitting? Why they all quitting? Because they was all involved in a lot of other stuff. What was that? Abercrombie and Fitch. Yeah, Abercrombie and Fitch. You guys just saw what happened with them. That company, the higher ups had to take a little trip, little vacation. Now, whether they walk through the door or not and go out the back door and go into a darked out, blacked out SUV is beyond me. I don't know. It could be. Yeah. Abercrombie and Fitch. That's the company. Let's go ahead and look at that right quick. Took a ta-ta. Yeah, a week ago. Abercrombie and Fitch CEO pleads not guilty to 16 counts of S trafficking. Well, let's look at that. It's been a minute since we've been together, and I got about 5-10 more minutes. Let's go ahead and knock that out. You know what the sad part, Ricky, is that the music does suck, but remember the good stuff. Do you remember the good music? But, buddy, sit down. Why do you keep bugging me, dude? Sit there, get in your little bed. You can't say hi to the people because my hair is wrapped, and I don't want people seeing my hair bonnet because my hair is wrapped under this bonnet. Okay, let's see. Can you see it? Oh, say, can you see? There you are. All right. Let's get it. Former Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries pleads not guilty to sex trafficking charges. One of Jeffries' alleged accomplices, James Jacobson, also entered a not guilty plea during an appearance in New York in a New York federal court. They're all falling down.
2008 to 2015. They're accused of spending millions to organize so-called sex events and lure young men in using. The former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch has pleaded not guilty to more than a dozen criminal charges in just the last few hours related to allegations that he ran an international sex trafficking business. That's Mike Jeffries leaving court today out on $10 million bond. His employee, James Jacobson, pleaded not guilty a little earlier, make that a little later today as well. You'll recall that Jeffries, Jacobson, and Jeffries' partner, Matt Smith, are all facing charges or a scheme the prosecutors say ran from 2008 to 2015. They're accused of spending millions to organize so-called sex events and lure young men in using, quote, coercive, fraudulent, and deceptive tactics. The men were allegedly promised modeling opportunities or help with their careers, and if they didn't comply with what was asked of them at these sex events, then they were told it could harm their careers. That, according to the indictment. NBC's George Solis is joining us now. George, Jeffries.
Okay, so as you can see, this is a theme that has been running in the industry. And here's the thing: once you hit a certain dollar amount, I consider everybody in the industry, right? Because the clothing and then the music and then all of that stuff all goes hand in hand. The music, the theater, all of it. It's all a part of these people who are rich and famous. This is what they do. Now, this is alleged, right? Because this cat had $10 million bond, but they wouldn't let old boy out. No, not the diddler. The diddler wasn't coming back out. I guess because they had found him a bit violent, that he had stalked one of the chicks, calling her almost 100 and something times in a short time frame. I don't know. Let's finish.
Partner is supposed to enter a plea. What are you hearing? What's happening there now?
Yeah, Tom, what happens now is that Jeffries must remain here in New York City, Long Island, or the Southern District of Florida, where he has a home. He remains out on that $10 million bond. And it was actually Jeffries' attorney that during this hearing entered that plea of not guilty. Now, we do know he was joined in court by his wife and son. Now, all three defendants, including Jeffries, face those 16 federal criminal charges, that one count of sex trafficking and 15 counts of interstate prostitution tied to the alleged 15 victims. Prosecutors again alleging that Jeffries and associates ran that sex trafficking scheme from 2018 to 2015. And that overlaps to some degree with Jeffries' tenure as the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. Now, according to the indictment,
I think he means 2015 to 2018. He said 2018 to 2015, 2015 to 2018. But look at this stuff, man. All of these cats are in the same exact wheelhouse. They're all in the same thing. They're all doing the same thing. None of them are doing anything different than the other. They're just doing it in a different part of town. That's all. And with us hearing about the whole Diddy situation, yeah, for black folk, we ain't ever heard of nothing like that on that scale. Not to this point. You see what I'm saying? Not to this point. I mean, I remember hearing about the parties and all that stuff when I lived in California, at hotels taking up the whole entire top floor or the penthouse floor and all that stuff. I remember that kind of stuff. I remember hearing about it, but I don't remember it being like it is now, where it is like huge amounts of people and just everybody is all enthralled in it. This is a hot mess, but this is Abercrombie and Fitch. This isn't a music guy, which means they've all been doing this, or allegedly have been doing this, having large parties.
The trip, these men use coercive and fraudulent deceptive tactics to get these men to attend these sex events, as you mentioned, so that these models would be promised these lucrative modeling deals. Now, for the most part, prosecutors said that these guys went along with this because they thought it would lead to a career with the agency. And we know at some of these parties, according to the indictment, they were given alcohol and drugs, muscle relaxants known as poppers. Now, for its part, Abercrombie issuing a statement saying, quote, "Our thoughts remain with those who bravely raise their voices." Keep in mind that Jeffrey stepped down as CEO of Abercrombie in 2014. So the company has had some distance from him for a while now, but some of the
which brings us to our original reason for showing this. Remember when they started, all of these CEOs just dropping like flies? They were all just, gotta go, gotta go. Hey, deuces, deuces, gotta go. Something happened. Something happened. Something started happening from that point going forward. Maybe they got wind that there was somebody coming, in a couple of years or a year and a half, and you better come on now, get yourself together, move on. All right. And it's not stopped. It has not stopped. There have been a lot of CEOs that have just decided, hey, gotta go, deuces. And they've been checking out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was just this big conversation about, as a matter of fact, hey, Betty R, one of our mods is here. Yes, yes. They all, I mean, how could we deny it? How could we deny that? What's on the screen with Betty just put there? How can we deny? We don't know, but we do know that there's something not cool going on. But here's the deal. There was that time frame where everybody was talking about the CEOs of different companies leaving and backing out, and nobody could really put their finger on it. Everybody thought maybe it's because of their, embezzling money, or they're doing this, or they're doing, no, they're doing this. This is what they're doing. And the diddler was recording all of the stuff that he was recording for so long because he was a plant. I can't see him as being anything but a plant, and then just breaking himself off a little bit as he went. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. But that's what I think. I think that he was just a plant, because what man, other than Narcissus himself coming from the dead, would want to record everything he does? Now, it could be the spirit of Narcissus, of course. It could be. Obviously, it is. But what normal individual would want to record himself for the last 30 years? And what normal individual who had a father that was working with the FBI up until his passing would want to walk around and record himself? Where would he get an idea like that? There's so much more to all of this sordid stuff. So much more. So much more. So much more. Anyway, you guys, I gotta go. Maybe we can hang out with each other a little later. I keep saying things like that, and then we don't see each other for a minute. Well, because something will happen. Something will happen. But in any case, I'm going to let you all go. But let's go ahead and finish up the last few minutes of this story so that we're not leaving things abridged. And then we're going to head out.
These allegations also surfacing last year, and some of these coming to light now based on this current indictment, Tom.
We've seen some high-profile figures accused of sex trafficking in recent years, not unlike the Me Too movement. Does each case seem to empower others to come forward?
Yeah, that's something that prosecutors and law enforcement in general kind of want to highlight. When you talk about some of these civil lawsuits that come in cases like the Jeffries one, they always believe that there might be more victims out there. So they always encourage, as difficult as it is for some of these victims in some of these cases, especially as the names start coming out, to come forward. We've seen it in the cases like Diddy. We've seen it in the cases of Jeffrey Epstein, R. Kelly. And again, the key messaging from prosecutors and law enforcement right now is, again, you have 15 alleged victims in this current indictment. Some of this, again, repeating itself from the 2023 allegations. So the concern is that there are more victims, and as difficult as it is, they are encouraging any victims in this case to come forward, Tom.
George Solis, thank you very much.
All right, and that's the end of that. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for hanging out with me this morning while we all get up and get ready to start our days. Get ready to go log into our computers and clock in and, do what we have to do with the dog, like I'm about to do with Mr. Buddy. But I appreciate y'all for hanging out. You guys take care. And, listen, right now is the time for us to really, truly, and honestly get it together, put it in gear, and understand what time it is. All right. We are going to cover the fraudlection. Oh, not fraudlection. What do I mean, fraudlection? The election tomorrow night. If you guys want to hang out with me over there on Headlines with a Voice, we'll hang out together, and we're just going to cover it just to see what's up. Now, of course, I don't vote, but I do get intrigued with what people think they can do with the vote. And I think that it's amazing. And some people find it necessary to go out and vote, and they want to exercise their freedom to do so. And I don't stop anyone. I don't want nobody stopping me or making me either. But I do want to follow this tomorrow. I do want to check it out. I want to see exactly how things fare, especially in light of the fact that they already got Pennsylvania as a shoe-in for old girl on the 27th of October. They were testing how we gonna cheat, and it didn't work because it was on the bottom of a screen. And somebody said, wait, it's October 27th. How did she win with 52% of the vote and 100% of the precinct all in? How that happened? And then it didn't show up until the other day. That the public now knows. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on, but I just, want us to get our bags of popcorn, caramel corn, or whatever it is that you do, what you do when you do it. And let's hang out and watch this. Let's see what happens. All right, you guys. I want you to take care of yourselves, because if you don't take care of you, ain't nobody else going to do it. I promise that. I promise they won't. And then once you're done taking care of everybody else, then you can, taking care of yourself, you can look around and take care of everybody else. I don't think there's a problem with that at all. What do you think? Okay, cool beans. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace. Like perspective.